Good morning. Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good Sunday afternoon, Knicks Nation. I hope you're all enjoying your weekend. Although, if you are a Knicks fan, it's a little bit tougher than normal for everybody. Although, I have to say, after the game last night, my wife is usually waiting for me. She's usually coloring in our bedroom, and she waits for me to after a game. And first thing she'll ask is, "Did your team win?" And usually I have an angry look on my face if it was a bad loss, but she couldn't tell last night because I was very calm. The reason I was calm is because after the Thursday win, to me, the season was already a success. And whatever happened Saturday night, if they won, it was going to be gravy. If they lost, you just start over next year. And so welcome D.O., Malik Shabazz, Bernadette Lumley, Guilford, Edwin Burgos, D.O., Yuri Ark, excuse me, Michael Drake, Marcus Edwards, welcome. Optimistic Giants fan, Donna 140th Street, welcome to y'all. Did I miss anybody at this point? Connor T and KNYT, Joseph Vendemio, Alfonso Who Care. I think I caught everybody that's in the room to this point. If I missed you, excuse me. Jay Sniper, Kabar Doppins, Sphere Jorgensen, Bostino, Viz Shop, Just Nix, The Only DM Dawson, John Pettit, David June 24, BQE. All right, I think I got Michael Drake already. So welcome to all of you all. What I want to do today, so yesterday obviously ended the 2024-2025 New York Knicks season. Today, June 1st, begins the 2025-2026 New York Knicks season. So let's start with lessons learned from this year. The good positive thing that I think a lot of people should be happy about coming into this next season is the NBA has always been a copycat league. It's always been a copycat league. What do I mean? When Wilt Chamberlain was the dominant force in the NBA, you started seeing pro teams look for 7-footers in the hope they would become Wilt Chamberlain. When Bill Russell was winning championships with Boston, you started seeing NBA teams looking for defensive-oriented big men that could rebound and block shots. And you started getting guys like Bob Lanier, Nate Thurman, Dave Cowens, who was shorter than most centers, really was a forward. And you had a lot of guys that the league was trying to find like that, okay? And then you started getting in the 20 years ago, not even, I would say 15 years ago, the Golden State Warriors won championships by playing tight defense, off-ball man movement, and the three-point shot. So you started having an emphasis on the three-point shot. So it's a copycat league. And why do I mention that? And why is that a good thing for us? The two teams that are in the finals, both the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers, use 10-man rotations. And both of those teams wore down two teams in the Minnesota Timberwolves and the New York Knicks that were using 8-man rotations. So I think you're going to see among the top 8 teams in each conference, especially the top 4 teams, you're going to see more 10-man rotations. I don't think it's a crazy thing to say you're probably going to see DeLon Wright back with the Knicks, and you'll probably see Landry Shamet back with the Knicks. I don't know if you're going to see Cameron Payne back with the Knicks. And the reason I've said all along, which I still say now, Cameron Payne's return depends entirely upon Tyler Kolek's development. If Tyler Kolek does not show strong development, this summer, you may see Payne back if Tyler Kolek shows strong development. And we're talking about the defensive end of the floor. You probably won't see Payne back. All of those guys, Payne, Kolek, Wright, and Shamet, are NBA minimum contract guys. So none of them are going to break the bank for the Knicks. They're all going to be in that $2 to $3 million range going into next year. In fact, we know Kolek is already signed. He was signed when he was signed as a rookie for 3 or 4 seasons. So he's already signed. But so you're going to see at least Kolek, you're going to see Wright, and you're going to see Shamet back. Okay. They're all going to be signed to Kolek again is already signed, but Shamet and Wright will be signed to veteran minimum contracts guaranteed for the season. You'll have them back. You're going to have a 10-man rotation starting next year. Okay, you're going to have a 10-man rotation. So that is a blessing for all of the people that's been minutes police and calling for extended rotations. You should be happy because the 2 teams in the finals this year are 10-man rotation teams, and you're going to see that next year. And so it worked very well for the Knicks this year. Worked very well. Another thing you're going to see is Mitchell Robinson will be starting at the 5 next season. I would like him to come off the bench, but you're going to have Mitchell Robinson starting, and you're going to have Karl Anthony Towns starting at the 4 next season. Okay, so you're going to have a starting 5 of Towns, Mitch Rob, OG, Mikal, and Brunson. You're going to have that starting next year. You're going to have Ariel Hukporti push up into the rotation. I don't know. I'm very concerned about Precious Achiuwa's position. As much as you all know, I am a huge Tom Thibodeau supporter. I do not second guess Tom Thibodeau. And so I will say this. I am disappointed at Precious Achiuwa's usage this past season. I think what caused it to go off the rails was that 21 games he missed to start the season. Tibbs is a man that believes in sticking with a rotation once he picks it. He doesn't like to disrupt it. He disrupts it with some exceptions. Precious would not have been one of those exceptions. An exception would be a Josh Hart. If Josh Hart had missed 21 games and he just came back, he would be right back in the rotation. But a guy like Precious, who was on the edge to begin with, missing 21 games, that threw Precious's rhythm off. And I think, it just ruined his season. The 21 games he started the season missing. It is what it is. Okay. So, and I hate the 3 words, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Please don't use them with me. I can't stand coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's bull crap. He didn't play. Now, what's going to happen going into next season? My hope if I'm Precious, if you know anything at all about how agents and team presidents work together or negotiate, Precious's agent should be pressing for him to either A, get a guarantee at a rotation spot. Like, in other words, a guarantee that he will be in competition for a regular rotation spot. That's all he could ask for. Or B, a trade to a team that would want him in their rotation. And there are several teams that would fit that bill. So that would be the ideal situation. I don't know if they will or can, or if it makes financial sense to sign and trade Precious. I think Precious would be an unrestricted free agent, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. I think Precious is going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of this season. So the Knicks do not have his rights. They may have bird rights, but I don't even know if that's the case. But let me just check. I'm going to check the Spot Rack Red site right now. But I don't think the Knicks, I don't think Precious is the Knicks have control over Precious. I don't think they do. I think Precious is going to be an unrestricted free agent this summer, which means there's a 90% chance he's going to leave because he's going to get, he's unrestricted. He's an unrestricted free agent this summer. So I don't even think the Knicks own his bird rights. So I think he's going to be gone. And you know, I hope he gets a nice contract because he deserves it. You know, I think he deserves it. So Yuri, what do you think I will answer you on such a statement? Yuri, what do you think I will answer you on such a stupid ass statement? Come on. Stop it. Stop listening to bullshit writers and people that want clicks. By the way, June 1st, now that is June 1st, it's officially clickbait season. June 1st, it's officially clickbait season. So be careful of that. All of I heard bull crap, keep it off of my channel because I'm not into gossip and I don't like spreading gossip, and don't do it. Okay? I heard about, unless you sitting in the locker room, you don't know crap about the locker room. The Knicks, first of all, do you understand? Does anybody understand that the Knicks keep everything in-house and that nothing leaks out? Do y'all understand that? Do y'all understand? Starting with the Don, going down to Tibbs, to Brunson, to all the players, nothing leaks out. So wait. If that is a truism, if what I just said is true, and you heard a rumor about the Knicks locker room, what percentage chance do you think that has any truth to it? What percentage chance do you think that actually means anything? It means nothing. You know, what bothered me about the post-game show, somebody asked Jalen Brunson, which I thought you could tell by Brunson's face. I love the way he answered the question. Do you think Tibbs is the right man for the Knicks job? And Brunson said, are you asking me a legitimate question about Tibbs? He just said yes and got up from it was the dumbest ass question you could ask. First of all, yeah, I know. And the thing is, if for a person to ask that question, number one, they expose themselves as a clickbait artist. Okay. Somebody you cannot take seriously at all. They just lost all credibility. Okay. And I think that person probably lost credibility with Brunson right there. I mean, I couldn't believe they asked that question. And Brunson couldn't believe they asked that question. He said, you were asking me this question now? You know. So anyway, that was dumbass. But that's what the problem is with New York Knicks media, if you ever want to know. Stuff like that. Okay. This is also, like I said, this is clickbait season. You guys should understand what that means. That means a lot of bull crap coming out with big giant letters on people's pages, and you know, this is going to happen, and I heard this and all that. So let's stick to business, y'all. This channel is what? This channel is for the Knicks and with the Knicks. So anybody that asks BS questions, we're not having it. Anybody calling for bullcrap like fired the coach that just got us to the Eastern Conference Finals, we ain't having it. Now, let's continue with our business. So if I'm Precious, I am asking Knicks management to either guarantee, and I would sit down with Tom Thibodeau. What are your plans for me? Can I get a rotation spot? Can I compete for a rotation spot? If I'm out, just let me know. And then he can find a team that he can, and there are a number of teams that could use Precious Achiuwa in their rotation. Not including teams like the Miami Heat that could use a Precious Achiuwa in their rotation. Okay, an Atlanta Hawks. Many teams that could use him in their rotation and would use him in their rotation. So Portland Trailblazers, many teams, okay, that would use him. So that I would ask for that. Not only that, he would get some nice guaranteed money. I can see Precious in the $10 million range, 8 to 10 million per year, 3 seasons, something like that. I could see that. coming. So that's what we're talking about right now, Jay Sniper. That's what we're talking about right now. Pay attention, y'all. This is where we're at. This is we're today talking about 25-26 Knicks season starting right now. That's what we're talking about. Okay, so this is where we're at now. I think you're going to see a 10-man rotation next season with the guys that you saw. And that means the regular 8 plus DeLon Wright and Landry Shamet. I would love to keep Precious Achiuwa, but I don't know if that would be something. Yeah, I think they're keeping DeLon Wright. I don't think there's any. A couple of times, did you guys notice a couple of times in this series, DeLon Wright was the first. He was the 9th guy. I mean, after Deuce, DeLon Wright came. So I think that's what they're going to probably use next season, and I think it's going to be very successful for the Knicks because they're going to be just like Indiana, just like Oklahoma City. So that's going to. I think that's going to be a thing. Okay. Yeah. Ariel Hukporti will be your backup 5. I think he's the only guy among the youngins. And we're talking about Ariel, Tyler, Pacome, McCullough, and Beaucamp. I think he's the strongest candidate to break the rotation next season at the 5 spot, especially if Mitchell Robinson is starting at the 5 spot. I think you're going to see Ariel Hukporti coming in at the 5 spot. So that will be, I think that's the thing. And I honestly think Ariel Hukporti will be very good. Now, what we don't know about Ariel Hukporti, I want y'all to keep this in mind. We don't have any idea of Ariel Hukporti's durability. He's got talent. He plays great defense. He's got good instincts on the defensive end, very good. He has got athleticism, length, rim protection. He's hustle. He runs the floor. But he's been hurt when he was overseas. He tore his meniscus this year. We don't know about his availability. Okay, so keep that in mind. We don't know about his availability. So, and we know that that's a huge thing with Tom Thibodeau. You have to be available. So we'll see. We'll see how that is. Yeah. I think he did too, John Pettit. I think the reason he was drafted 55th is because he was an injury risk. Teams don't like injury risks. In the NBA, a lot of people get guaranteed contracts. So you're going to, you don't want to waste an investment of guaranteed money for somebody that's not going to be available. That's a very important thing in the NBA. And it's even more important with Tom Thibodeau. So let's hope. And this is what I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. I don't know what his durability is. Now, you're not going to see Ariel Hukporti play 35 minutes a game next year as a backup 5. He'll probably get 15. Okay. And that'll be good. So can he stay healthy at 15 minutes a game? Well, we're going to find out. I don't know. I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. And I think that would be perfect because you're talking about 48 minutes at the 5 minutes, the 5 spot minutes, every position that's 48 minutes to play, right? So I'm thinking Mitch Rob gets 25 minutes a game, Hukporti gets 15, and then the other 8, you're going to run Towns with smaller lineups. I think that's what's going to happen, right? So I think that'll be the case. Jay Sniper asked about the backup power forward. You're forgetting about Josh Hart. Tom Thibodeau placed Josh Hart at power forward. So there's that. So you're going to have Towns starting at the power forward. You're going to have Josh Hart coming off your bench as a power forward. And so that's, I don't know why that would be. That's not a big stretch of an imagination right there. That's going to happen. That's the way Tibbs loves Josh Hart. Okay. Now, what went wrong against the Pacers last night, particularly, was emblematic. Now, I want y'all to please bear with me 1 second. What you saw Thursday night in New York, is the possibility of something that would be more regular next year in the playoffs. I want you to remember that. What you saw Thursday night in New York was the Knicks that they could look like next year with the 10-man rotation. Thursday night, they dominated the Indiana Pacers. Okay? So I want you to remember that. Now, last night, what went off the rails? Well, if you recall, Thursday night's win, right? I was saying I didn't like the way the offense was running, even though they won, because Jalen Brunson was taking on too many shots. Remember that? And I was saying they needed to protect the paint and they needed to cut down the turnovers. A lot of that was on Jalen Brunson. Okay. A lot of that is on Jalen Brunson. I don't think it's accidental. I don't think it's accidental that the Knicks went on an 11-2 run when Brunson sat down. They had DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet, Deuce McBride on the floor, and they went on an 11-2 run when Brunson sat down. I was very concerned when Tibbs brought Brunson back in at 9 minutes, 37 seconds left in the fourth. I thought he brought him in too soon because Brunson's head wasn't right yesterday. And you know that happens. Brunson's head wasn't right yesterday. Okay? It wasn't. He left the game plan. Did you all notice how many, he made, and I'm not saying Nembhard is not a great defender. He is. But I think it's reasonable to expect that Brunson would have learned from Dyson Daniels. Okay? Dyson Daniels showed the formula against Jalen Brunson. Am I right, y'all? Dyson Daniels showed the Jalen Brunson shutdown formula. And what happened was, did you notice Brunson? I got to be honest. Nembhard got in Brunson's head. Nembhard got in Brunson's head. And Brunson even headbutted him. That's how frustrated he was. Was Brunson a mistake? My wife, who doesn't even follow basketball that closely, said, why is he trying to take on the whole team by himself? That's what my wife said. That's what my mother said. Why is Brunson trying to take on? Why is he trying to take on the whole team by himself? That was the downfall. That was the downfall number 2. That was the second downfall. The first downfall, if you recall, was they had to keep Indiana out the paint. They were having trouble doing that from the opening tip. Now, they came out the first quarter in good shape. Nobody scored 30. They came out this half in good shape, 58-54. Nobody hit 60. But the problem of not blocking out the paint was still there. Them hitting threes didn't bother me. It was the paint. It was getting in the paint. And almost four straight times, or at least 4 out of like 6 possessions in the second half, Halliburton comes down. Turner sets a pick. Halliburton is being guarded by Mikal Bridges. Halliburton gets in front of Bridges and positions himself so that Bridges cannot get around him. And Halliburton hits a floater. Did y'all see that? It was like 4 possessions. And so what was the problem there? How should that have been defended? The problem there was Cat. The problem was Cat. Cat stayed home, but when you're trying to protect the paint, you got to protect the paint. So he should have switched off and made Halliburton give up the rock. Okay, so that was a problem defensively. And it was a problem at a very crucial time. He hit 4 of those floaters down the stretch. That was the ball game. And that's what I kept saying the whole game. Once a Pacer got in the paint, I said, that's it. But basket. Once they got in the paint, basket. So, and then, of course, I think we can all agree they did not handle the basketball. They did not take care of the basketball at all. This, again, is on Jalen Brunson. He has to let go of the ball. especially if the opponent is putting full court pressure on you. You don't attack the full court pressure. You make the easy pass to the middle, and then you sprint up the court. Okay, that was terrible. How many turnovers did they have yesterday? I can't. I didn't even look. I know it was bad. It was terrible. They had the turnovers were horrible yesterday. There was no doubt about it. I was like, what the hell, man? And so I was totally not. Let me see, how many turnovers did they have yesterday? So I'm like looking at this, and I'm like, what the hell? And they had yesterday 17. You will not win in the NBA Conference Finals with 17 turnovers. You cannot do it. It's not going to happen. Okay. The minute I saw Indiana get 110 points, I knew it was over. It was over. At that point, it was over. Okay. So whereas Thursday night, Indiana didn't even get 100. That's why the Knicks won. But for that, when they hit 110, I knew that was over. There was a long shot for the Knicks to win that game. It was over. Brunson had, how many turnovers did he have? He had too many. It was ridiculous. He was ridiculous yesterday. And it was all due to him being stubborn. It was just Brunson being stubborn, period. End of story. He was just trying to take on the Pacers. Nembhard got in his head, period. Nembhard got in his head. And he should know better than that. Brunson had 5 turnovers. Mikal Bridges had 5 turnovers. It was horrible. It was a horror show. It was a horror show. It was a horror show yesterday. Horror show. That was, and then so the turnovers were bad. Brunson trying to be a one-man gang was bad. They weren't protecting the paint. Everything just fell apart yesterday. They weren't protecting the paint at all. Okay. The only person in the starting unit playing defense, well, there were 2, OG and Mitch Rob. Mitch Rob was playing some defense yesterday. Mitch Rob came to play yesterday. Mitch Rob came to play this whole series, really, but he came to play yesterday. Hello, Miss Stevens. He came to play yesterday. So, yes, the transition defense was awful. It was awful yesterday. It was bad. They did not get back on plays that in high school you would know to get back. They did not get back. So there was a number of bad things happening. Now, with the Knicks, and honestly with most NBA teams, there is usually a snowball effect. What do I mean? Things fall apart. Once a main thing falls apart, other stuff starts to fall apart. So the Knicks were trying to get the Pacers to play a slower pace. Once they lost that grip, Brunson started pressing. He left the game plan. And that was it. Everything started, they stopped getting back on defense. They stopped taking care of the ball. It was terrible. Okay. That's it. That's it. Ron B's 58. You're a BS artist. I don't like you in my room. Don't ever say that in my room. Brunson and Cat are exactly who they are and will never learn from it. You know what I've learned from listening to assholes like you? You know what I've learned? This is what I've learned. Get the hell out of here. We'll never learn from it. So they'll never get any better. Dumbass. Can't stand dumbasses like that. We'll never learn from it. Some people will never learn, including him. Shoot. Wait, let me do a little further investigation here. I am in the mood for that today. Not today. No. So, let's talk about improvements. I have to say, I'm going to give Josh Hart a pass. And the reason I'm going to give Josh Hart a pass is because he started all season. And then in this series, he came off the bench. He could not have come off the bench before this series. Why do I say that? Because Mitchell Robinson wasn't fully healthy until this series. He wasn't fully healthy against Detroit. He was playing like 18, 20 minutes. He was a little better against Boston, but he was fully healthy in this series against Indiana. So this was the first series Josh Hart could justify saying, listen, start Mitchell Robinson and bring me off the bench. If they start the season like that next year, I guarantee you won't see Josh Hart be that bad. He was bad, but I give him a pass because it's a different rhythm coming off the bench. It's a different rhythm, okay? And he's a guy that needs to get into a rhythm. He's one of those type of guys. So I think they'll be better. He'll be better next year. I'm hoping when the Knicks talk about, and if you listen to the post-game interviews with Kat, with Jalen Brunson, with Mikal, with Deuce, with Josh, if you listen to the post-game interviews, everybody was talking about, to a man, working hard this summer. Right? Did you hear that? Everybody was talking about working hard this summer. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Like when you're in high school, right? And you're going to work hard this summer. That means you're going to work on your footwork. Maybe you add 2 inches to your vertical leap, 3 if you could, right? Hopefully you grow another inch, right? You start to improve your ball handling a little bit. But when you're in the NBA, it's different. You're not going to add anything to your vertical leap. You're not going to grow. So how do you improve? What do you work really hard at to improve in the off season? So if you're Josh Hart, somebody mentioned, yes, you work on that 3-point shot. Jalen Brunson, if you ever watched the Roommates show, he said he's seen last summer Hart for the first time really focus on improving his 3-point shot. I think one of the things that threw Josh off was coming off the bench. That's why I give him a pass. I think coming off the bench threw off his whole rhythm. And so I'm going to give him a pass on that. I'm going to give him a pass on that. And so I'm thinking he's going to work hard this summer. He's going to be in physical condition, which Josh Hart is one of the best physically conditioned athletes in the NBA. So you're going to see that. And then I think, who is it that said it? I don't know if it was Jay Sniper. Somebody mentioned it. He's going to continue to work on his 3-point shot so that if they give it to him, he could hit at least 35%. We just need him to be league average, 35, 36% from 3. Okay. So that's what he would be working on. Brunson would be working on his mental game. In other words, stop trying to take on the entire opponent. Use your teammates. He should be looking at film and trying to figure out how can I best use my teammates in situations where I'm getting 94-foot pressure. Okay. So that's what it's a mental game for him. He's got to work on. He's got everything that him and his daddy worked on for all of those decades. You're talking about thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of hours that Jalen Brunson and Rick Brunson put on and making his game is what it is. So more hours on the floor. Okay. But for him, it's right here. It's right here. He's got to be able to play the thinking game better. He's got to be able to play the thinking game better. He's got to understand situation. He's got to understand defensive situation. Somebody mentioned to me in the comments earlier that Brunson was showing double, and that's why he lit. No. In the league, right? If you show double, this is how you do it. Let's take the NBA. Let's take the court, right? Let's say a guy is directly lined up directly at the 3-point line to the basket straight away. If you're going to double him, the guy that's doubling him from the front stays with him. If you're going to show double, the guy on the side is the guy that shows double. If you're going to show double on the side, you got to have a rotation so that the guy you're leaving wide open to get the double shown is going to have somebody covering him. Okay. Brunson has a habit of doubling and leaving his man wide open or letting somebody else double and not rotating. That is where we need serious improvement. And I believe they'll do that. Anybody can get that done for the Knicks is Tom Thibodeau. So that's that. I can't ask anything more of OG Anunoby. He got robbed on all NBA defense. He played, how many games did OG play this year? OG was there for almost all the season. He played, almost all the games. How many? OG played 74 games this year. You cannot expect him to be any better than that. I mean, if we can get that next year, I'm happy as a pig in crap. Look, that you can't expect more from OG Anunoby than what you got this year. You got stellar three-point shooting. You got all NBA level defense. Okay. And he played 74 games. No, I can't expect anything more from OG Anunoby. He earned every bit of that new contract. He earned his money. Okay. So I just give OG an A+ and move on with life. Just say, OG, do what you did this year, next year. That's all I want. Stay healthy, come ready, do the same thing. Okay. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, I can't expect anything more from OG Anunoby. He's done way more than you expect. He wasn't no off the dribble guy in Toronto. He was not. Okay. So I think we're going to be good with him. Just have him come back healthy. He played 74 games. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think OG has played that many games in a season in a while. Let me just take a look at his stats, man. I don't think let me see. The last time OG played 74 games was 2017, 2018, his rookie year. That was the last time he played 74 games. That's the last time, okay, that he played 74 games. He played 50 games for the Knicks last year. He's been in that 50 to 67 era for a long time. He played 74 games, man. Now, I'm cool with OG as is. Just come back healthy. Don't get hurt. and really, just come back healthy. Don't get hurt, okay? Yeah, the medical staff, the New Yorkers have always had the best medical. They've always, that's going back decades. The New York Knicks have always had the best medical, so that's no surprise. So that comes back now. That's why it was so shocking to me when Porzingis said he's going to use his own rehab staff instead of using the Knicks rehab staff, the best in the NBA. But anyway, that's another thing. Okay. Mikal Bridges is what he is. Okay. He is what he is. That's it. He played 82 games this year. He played 82 games this year. He didn't miss a game, didn't miss a playoff game, didn't miss any games. 82 games he played. He averaged 37 minutes a game. Now, this is why I'm going to tell you why you're going to see an improvement in Mikal Bridges next year. Are you ready? And he's the first one that mentioned this. I think you all will know when I say it. Mikal Bridges is going to be better because the Knicks will have a 10-man rotation next year. He averaged 37 minutes a game this year. 37 minutes a game he averaged. Yeah. So if you can get that down to 34, which I think they can with a 10-man rotation. What do y'all think? I think 33, 34 with a 10-man rotation for Mikal. Okay. And this will more than anybody on the rotation. It's going to benefit Mikal because he don't miss no games. Okay. It's not like 34 minutes, he might get hurt. You get him 33 minutes, 34 minutes, you're going to get a very energized Mikal Bridges. Okay. So I think that will be what you see. Craig, what is Mikal Bridges' three-point shot for his career? Mikal Bridges is 28 years old. For his career, not this season, for his career, he's a 37% three-point shooter. I don't think you're going to get much better than that. The league average is 35. He's above league average. He's a 37% three-point shooter. Mikal's game is not predicated on the three-point shot. Okay? And again, when you see a 10-man rotation, I think you're going to see a better Mikal because he'll have more energy, especially on the 82-game season. So I think just the 10-man rotation will help him. Cat's knee. I think all of us saw Cat basically, I would say, from probably right before the All-Star break all the way to the end, right? Cat was basically playing on one leg. Okay. Cat was basically playing on one leg. Okay. So I don't know if he's going to need a minor surgery or on that knee or what. I don't know. But Cat hopefully gets his knee right this summer. That would be a big thing for us. Cat has to get his knee right this summer. Okay. No, the rookies will not be implemented into the rotation next year. Let's not get delusional. You have 10 guys, and the 9th and 10th guy are DeLon Wright and Landry Shamet. Okay? So I don't know how bad Cat's knee is because he wasn't giving that information out. And I don't blame him. But we're going to find out, I think, in the next 4 weeks about his knee. Probably by the end of June, probably by 4th of July, you will find out what the deal is with Cat's knee. Whether he need, and I don't expect it to be a major surgery, something that he will need like 5 weeks to come back from. Woody Woodpecker, thanks for the $5. Yeah, but Cat's hand is going to be all right. I'm not worried about his hand. His hand will be all right. His hand will be all right. But it's that knee. It's that knee that's I want to be ready for the 82-game grind next year. Again, I don't expect, I don't think any of us realistically expect all the Knicks to play 82 games next year. I mean, right? So if we can get, what do we get from Cat this year? Let me see. How many games did Cat play this year? Coming into training camp, So Karl-Anthony Towns plays 72 games. Look, if we can get 72 games from him, that's good enough. That's good enough. If we can get 72 games, that's good enough. Okay? So listen, we're talking about Karl-Anthony Towns. We must remember, no team has an effective center to guard him. We still have that. He's still in his prime, and nobody in the NBA can guard him. Okay? So basically, we have the top offensive center in the NBA. We have the top offensive center in the NBA on the Knicks. We have 2 all NBA players. Wait a minute. Not 1, 2. We have 2 all-stars, 2 all NBA players in their prime. I heard there was some dumb ass said, well, how long is this window going to be open? Let me ask you all. We've talked about this. The Knicks championship window is open. How much longer is this window going to be open? What do y'all think? We've talked about this before. Tell me. In fact, let's do a poll. Okay? Let's do a poll. All right? Are you ready? Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. I'm going to do a poll right now. We're going to do a poll. Start a poll. All right. I'm going to give you all 3 choices. Okay. Y'all ready? Here go the poll. Here's the poll. How long will I'm going to make an assumption with this question that we all understand the championship window is open. So how much longer will the championship window be open for the Knicks? 1 more season, 2 more seasons, or 3 more seasons? How much longer will the championship window be open for the Knicks? 1 more season, 2 more seasons, or 3 more seasons? Okay. Yeah. So that's what we're asking right now. How much longer will the championship window be open? So far, it looks like early returns are showing 3 more seasons. And the reason I will agree with the 3 seasons, the reason I agree with 3 more seasons, oh, I see. Okay, I see we have an anal retentive visitor. We have an anal retentive visitor. Let me do a little house cleaning. Excuse me, brethren. Let me do a little house cleaning on the anal retentive visitor. Okay, we fixed up that. Okay, we swept out. When I was a kid, I had a Doberman Pinscher. Every once in a while, not her fault, she would take a crap in the house. Then you'd have to go into, I had a special shovel, and I would shovel the crap, and then I would throw it outside, the designated area in our yard. Back then, we didn't have to walk the dog. We had a yard. So you just let the dog out in the yard, and then you put some crap on the dog crap to cover it up, or you put it in the designated area where we had sand. So, so I had a designated shovel to pick up whenever she did that. She didn't do it often, but when she did, I had to use a special shovel to pick it up. Okay. So that's what, that's what we're talking about. So whenever you get a guy like the chlorine guy, I got to get the designated shovel and clean up the crap. That's what has to happen. Got to get the designated shovel and clean up the crap. Okay. Yeah. Then you have to clean it, right? Put the hose on it and clean it. Then you have to use it again. And you're hoping you have to. Usually when my dog messed in the house is because one of us didn't get home at the normal time. We would normally get home and let her out, and it was kind of our fault. We knew that. So that's when she would do it. She would get upset because we weren't home when we were supposed to be, so that no matter what, yeah. So that was it. Yeah. So that's it. So where were we? Oh, yes. So Cat, we don't know about his knee. So we're hoping I think we're going to get some news about that by July 4th. I'm thinking something minor because he did play, right? I'm thinking something minor. And once he comes back, he'll be Cat, all NBA Cat. I think he will be. Deuce is a constant with respect to defensive pressure, right? He's a constant with respect to defensive pressure. I would like to see him work more, which he still has upside. See, when you talk about a guy working on something, you're assuming there's upside to be worked on, right? That's what the danger is when you have guys that are too old. They're not going to get much better than what you see. So with Deuce, I think he has upside to improve his jump shot. I think he does. And his jump shot could be sweet now, but I think he has upside to improve it, which means I think Deuce can be a 40+% 3-point shooter. He was that last year, actually. I think he can be a 40+% 3-point shooter. I think he has that in him. I really do. Along with the lockdown defense, I think he has that in him. So I think he could do that. All right. So I think that's something that we would see. Actually, DJ the one, I don't think you're paying attention because that's exactly what we're talking about. I don't think you're paying attention because that's exactly what he asked. Should we be talking about how we beat the Pacers next year? Well, I think that's exactly what we're talking about. Let me ask y'all, what did I mention about beating the Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder? What is the big change for next season? I'm going to test you. What was the big change for next season? What's the big change for next season, y'all? That's going to cause us, because it's a copycat league, right? So look, Severe Jorgensen, Kobar Dobbins, Yuri, bless you. Somebody comes in and says, shouldn't we be talking about how we beat Indiana next year? I thought that's what we were talking about. I thought that's what we were talking about. So let's go over this again. I think we're going to have DeLon Wright return. Well, They're going to, let's get another poll, shall we? So 59% of y'all say 3 more seasons. And before we end this poll, as I end this poll, before we start the new poll, let me tell you why I agree with you. Let me tell you why. So you have right now, let's talk about the rotation, okay? Let's talk about the rotation, the Knicks rotation. Karl Anthony Towns is 29 years old. You have him for 2025, 53 million. 2026, 57 million. 2027, 61 million. And then in 2028, he's an unrestricted free agent. So you have Karl Anthony Towns at age 30, 31, and 32, which happens to be his prime years for the next 3 years. You have OG Anunoby, 40 million next year, 42.5, 2026. 45 million, 2027, and a player option in 2028 for 48 million. He's 27 years old. So you have him for 28, 29, 30, and 31. Jalen Brunson is 28 years old. He'll be 29 in either late August or early September. You have him for 35 million next year. You have him for 38 million in 26. You have him for 41 million in 27 and a player option for 43 million in 28. That means you're going to have Jalen Brunson for age 29, 30, 31, and 32. Mikal Bridges, he's an unrestricted free agent in 26. You got him next year locked in for 25 million. They'll probably extend him. Josh Hart, you have him. He's now 29. He's going to be 30 next year. You have him locked in for 19 million in 25, 21 million in 26, and then you got a team option for 22 million in 27. That means you have Josh Hart, age 29, 30, and 31. Mitchell Robinson, who they're going to extend this summer, I guarantee you, you got him locked in for 13 million in 25. He will be back, and he's 26 right now. Not worried about that. So now you got Deuce McBride locked in at age 24, 4 million next year, 4 million a year after that, and then he's unrestricted. I will guarantee you Deuce McBride gets an extension this year in December. He gets extended. Then you got DeLon Wright, who is an unrestricted free agent. They're going to sign him. You're going to have Landry Shamet, unrestricted free agent. They're going to sign him. They're going to keep both those guys. So now with your core pieces, we're talking about Cat, Brunson, OG, Hart, right? Your core pieces you got for at least 4 years. You got me? So that's why, and I'm not even going to count the 4th year. Let's say the 4th year, they're all finished. They're all a shell of themselves. So for the next 3 years, you got your core pieces in their prime, locked in. And we're not even talking about it. We're going to get to boat camp in a minute, but y'all hear me. That's why I agree with you guys that said 3 years. This championship window is 3 years. 3 more seasons beside this season. So don't get all upset about this year. Yeah, it ended bad. Yeah, but we got 3 more seasons. So let me ask you all this. Let me ask you all a question. Are you ready? You ready for the question? Do you think Jalen Brunson is high IQ enough to improve his floor game? Do you think Jalen Brunson is high IQ enough to improve his floor game? So wait. The likelihood then of Brunson not making the mistakes you saw this series are smaller, right? So now he's got 3 more seasons to figure out not to try to play 1-on-5. You think he'll figure that out? No, but Michael Drake, the way people talk, some people, you got to wonder. So that means that Brunson, Mikal, OG, Cat, Mitch Rob, Deuce, they got 3 full seasons to figure this out. Okay? So we should not be concerned, number 1. And number 2, let's go over this again. Cat, OG, Mikal, Brunson, okay, Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride. Who am I missing? That's it, right? So look, that's 6 guys that you have locked in for 3 more seasons. Now. It's highly unlikely that the Knicks do not re-sign Mikal Bridges. It's highly unlikely. I don't see that happening. In fact, I'm going to tell you what. Let me predict something. Mikal is going to get a contract in the low 100s. He's not going to get no $200 million deal. Okay? He's going to get a contract in the 120 to 140 range. That's what he's going to get. And you know why I can tell you that? Because there's nobody else in the NBA is going to pay more than that. He's in a Julius Randle situation. Y'all remember when Julius Randle was the first time, not the last time, but the first time he was up for an extension, and everyone was like, he's eligible because he made all NBA. He's eligible for $220 million. Oh man, he gave us a discount. And I told y'all that was BS because ain't nobody was going to pay him $220 million. That's Mikal Bridges. Mikal is a piece. He is not the piece. He is a piece. Okay? He is a championship piece, but he's not the piece. So he's going to get, Mikal's going to get, I could see him getting 4 years. I'm on the high side. 135. I'm saying 4 years on the high. I'm talking about 35 million a year. 35 million a year, which means 120 to 140. I would be shocked if he got more than that. I would be shocked if he got more than that. I'll be shocked if he got more than that. Because that's his value. That's his value. Okay, that's his value. Then he just doesn't get it, Yuri. But I'm just telling you, based on my experience watching NBA contracts over the years and his value in terms of the league, nobody else is going to pay him like that. Nobody's going to pay him like that. Okay, it's just not going to happen. So Mikal is highly unlikely he does not get re-signed. He's not stupid. Listen, OG is supposed to get $215 million. You hear what I'm saying? Mikal is OG light. You hear what I'm saying? Mikal is OG light. The road runner, which I call him, because he played like the Coyote actor, but he's OG light. OG is grown-ass man. Mikal is not grown-ass man. Mikal is road runner, OG light. So he gets paid like OG light. He ain't getting paid $215 million. That ain't going to happen. Okay. That's a good question. Don Day asked, what would be our apron if we re-sign Mikal? That's an excellent question. Let me just take a look at that now. Right now, going into this season, 25-26, the second apron, they have $8 million second apron space. They have $8 million second apron space right now. So you got to figure. So Cameron Payne will not be back. That's $2 million right there. And Precious won't be back. That's $11 million that would be on the books. So you're talking about $13 million. Mikal is already getting 25 for next season. So we're talking about, really, when you're talking about Mikal Bridges, you don't want to look at the 25-26 season. You want to look at the 26-27 season. You all understand that? Because Mikal is locked into a $25 million deal this coming year. All right? So what we're talking about is an extension. That would be after the current contract. Okay? So he's going to get 24.9 million, 25-26. So for 26-27, let's take a look at the cap for 26-27. The way it stands right now, 26-27, they have $61 million in second apron space. 26-27. They have $61 million of second apron space. So I think that's no problem. I think they get him in at 30 to 35 million a year. Okay. 30 to 35 million. I think you're going to get Mikal Bridges back at that number. So again, he's locked in for the next season. So he's not going to affect the cap for 25-26. He's going to affect the cap in 26-27. Mikal Bridges is right now, He is 28 years old. So he'll affect the cap when he's 30. Okay. Yeah. So he'll affect the cap when he's 30. I'm thinking 30 million a year is a nice number for him. Really, 4 years, 120. Get that done. I think that's a nice number for him. It could be Donde. He could get that. Donde says 3 years for 105. He could get that. He can get that. But most guys in Mikal's position, where he's going to be 29 next year, I mean, if it was you, right? You're 29 years old. Don't you want as much guaranteed money up front as you can get, right? So if they offered him 4, years and they offered him 130, I think I would take that. You understand what I'm saying? I would take that, or 125. I would take that guaranteed, fully guaranteed money. Give me that, So now he don't have to worry about money. That's it. He's done. That's his big career contract. Okay. He just coming off a $90 million deal. So he's going to take that money. He's not, I hear you. If it was LeBron or a Kevin Durant, just coming out of their prime, maybe at that moment you take the 3 years, 105, if somebody's stupid enough to pay. But I think Mikal is going to take the full 4-year deal and take all the money guaranteed he could get. I think he will. Okay. So I think that would be the case. So I think you'll get Mikal back. And I want to use 30 million a year. So I'm thinking possibly 120 to 135 million total package for Mikal Bridges. I think that's what you'll get. I think Deuce should get something in the higher mid-level exception range. Deuce should be 3 years, 30. I think Deuce should be 3 years, 30. I think Mitch should get the exact same deal he got just now, 4 years, 60. I think Mitch should get an extension, 4 years, 60 million, 15 million a year. Keep it going. Let him keep buying his big old trucks and fishing in Mississippi, the hell in the bayou or whatever he wants to do. But I think 4 years, 60 million is perfect for Mitch Rob. And you just keep that. Okay. Out of control kids. Take that out your mind. That's a delusion. We're not getting Dante DiVincenzo back. It's not going to happen. Beasley is an impossibility. You will not get Beasley. Beasley's going to re-sign with Detroit, as he should. They're going to pay him nicely. Beasley's going to re-sign with Detroit. That's that. Yeah. And you're not, no, there's impossible. That's a fantasy. You're not going to get Dante DiVincenzo back. Somebody was asking, can we get Obi back? If you were Indiana, would you let Obi go? Yeah, that's not going to happen. So Beasley is very happy in Detroit. He's obviously found a place. He's loved. They love him. He loves them. He loves to play with Cade. He's going to be back in Detroit. Okay. No, Guilford McCormick. That's a good question. Guilford McCormick asked this question. Do you think the Knicks will look at anyone in free agency or the draft? Great question. Let's talk about free agency first. Can you think of a player that can take the place of Precious Achiuwa in terms of minutes, in terms of position in the rotation? Do you think, is there a player out there available that you know of that will be Precious Achiuwa? What do you think? What do y'all think? Is there a player out there that will be Precious Achiuwa? I love Tari Eason. If y'all been following my channel, you got to know I liked Tari Eason at LSU when he was coming off the bench at LSU. I love Tari Eason. Love Tari Eason. But the problem with that is I think Houston loves him too. I think Houston loves him too. So I don't think you're going to get Tari. No, I would love to get Tari Eason, man. I would love to get Tari Eason. But yeah, I don't think he'll be available. Tyus Jones, let's not be delusional. Do you realize you have 3 backup point guards right now? Why? Do you just hate your own players or anybody across the street looks better? You're not getting Tyus Jones. For what? What, to take whose place? Jalen Brunson's? Deuce McBride's? DeLon Wright's? Like who's for what? Come on, y'all. Y'all need to think before you start throwing out names. Tyus Jones is not going to be signing for no vet min. And that's all you can afford, a veteran minimum. So let's not get delusional, okay? Stop it. Harrison Barnes is not. I understand that one. I can hear that because Harrison is past his prime. But I just don't think he wants to come to New York and play with Tibbs. He's not that guy. I don't think so. John Collins is too much money. You see, Craig, you're thinking now. That's exactly right. He's too much money. No. We already got Bruce Brown. His name is Deuce McBride. We already got defensive-minded players. Look, wait. Do y'all agree DeLon Wright and Shamet are defensive-minded players? Wait. Let me ask y'all, do y'all agree that Landry Shamet and DeLon Wright and Deuce McBride are defensive-oriented players? Do we agree with that? So we don't need to be calling for more guards that are defensive-oriented. They don't have any playing time. We're already talking about a 10-man rotation. See? So no. So we're good there. But let's talk about some more. Dorian Finney-Smith. Do you think he'll take playing sometimes? Starting sometimes, getting DNP sometimes. Do you think Dorian Finney-Smith is that guy? I don't think so. I don't think so. Ubaselli from Philly is a possibility. I like that because Ubaselli's 29. He's going to be 30. Mature guy. He'll come in at a vet min. So I like Jay Sniper. I'm not against that. I'm not against that. That makes sense financially. It makes sense playing time wise. He's a guy, if you got a lot of injuries, can come in and play for you. He can definitely, fill in nicely. He won't complain. He's going to be on a veteran minimum contract. And yeah, I like that. I like Ubaselli. I like that. That would be a perfect position for him. You know who I really like? Y'all know I like Beef Stew, but he's out of our price range. I love Beef Stew. But Detroit ain't letting Beef Stew go. You got to understand, Detroit is not letting him go. Okay, no. Bol is not a Tom Thibodeau player. I think if you know Tom Thibodeau, you should know that. Bol is not a Tom Thibodeau guy. Okay, I like Bol. I like him, but I don't think he's a Tom Thibodeau guy. Do we have the MLE? Let me see. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Do we have the MLE? Let's take a look. Do we have that? Do we have the MLE is the question. Do we have it? Do we have it available? Let's see. I don't know. I don't know if we have it or don't. I really don't know. I guess I'm looking at Spot Rack and I can't see any information on it to know for sure if we have that available. I don't know. If we do have it, I'm thinking that goes to Deuce McBride. If we do have it, I'm thinking it goes to Deuce McBride. Yes, I was going to say, I like Jay Will. Okay, Edwin Burgos. Anybody else out here looking at guards? Remember, you have 4 point guards. You have at least 4. You have James Brunson, Deuce, you have DeLon Wright, and you have Tyler Kolek. Do not mention any more point guards. You don't need any more guards. You don't need Steph Curry. You don't need him. Please remember, you got vet min money. That's what you got. I do like Jay Will. I like Jay Will. I'm not sure how much he's going to need, though. How much is he getting paid now? I like Jay Will. I ain't going to front. I like Jay Will. I like him. But look, if you know Jay Will, as far as his background, y'all understand, right? He's a country boy. Jay Will ain't no dude that's for the big city. He comes from like Arkansas somewhere. I mean, that's where he's from. He's not like a country boy. Let me just look at this. He's not a country boy. I don't think New York City is for him unless he just wants to live, wow. He's a young dude, though. What a prospect. I like him as a prospect. Let me just find him. Let's see. Yeah, man. Oh God, I like him as a prospect, man. I really do. Shoot, he's a young boy. He is 22 years old. He's only making $2 million. You know what I see with Jay Will? Seriously, you know what I see with Jay Will? I see. Tell me if you agree with me. Okay, y'all ready for the question? You ready? I see another possibility of a Hartenstein situation. What do y'all think? I think I see Hartenstein light with Jay Will. What do you think? I think I see a Hartenstein light, a guy that you can bring in with a little bit more money than he would get somewhere else. He's on a $2 million deal, and he's on a team option for 2.1 million this year. I'm thinking you can get him for 2 years, like you did with Hartenstein, 2 years, 15 million. I think so. What y'all think? I think that's something you can slip in. If you're the Don, you could slip him in and you could put him in there, and he's not going to complain getting that 15 million over 2 years. He could back up Mitch Rock just like Hartenstein did. And look, the dude's only 22 years old. That's ridiculous. He's only 22 years old. You want to know his measurables? Okay, hold on, I'll tell you. I think I want to say he's at least 6'9", 235. If I'm going to guess, he's a big boy. I think he's about 6'9", 235. I know he plays center and power forward. Let me just hear. I'll tell you. He's 22 years old. Jay Will. Let's take a look at him. Let me just tell you right now. I'll tell you what is my boy here, Jay Will. Jay Will, they got him listed at 6'8", 250. Damn, he's 6'8", 250. He's a big boy. He's beef stew. They got him listed in Basketball Reference at 6'8", 250. Let me look at Sporak. What they got him listed? Let me see. I like him though. They're going. He's that beef stew mold dude. I like that guy's game. They're going. Yeah, they got him listed at 6'8", 250. Yeah. So I like Jay Will. I ain't going front. So if I had to get, is that what BSPN says? Okay, I will go with BSPN's number on that. Jabroni, see, I will go with that. Let's call him 6'9", 240. Okay, but that's beef stew right there, and I love beef stew type dudes. Tough, rebounding, available. Oh, I like that kid, man. I like that kid, and I don't know. Well, Oklahoma City's got it all, man. They got cap space. They got young players. They got draft picks. Jay Will might not fit in, so maybe we could steal him. I'm thinking we could steal him. I would love to get Jay Will. Matter of fact, I have to say, if I'm going to get a Precious Achiuwa, a realistic Precious Achiuwa replacement, realistic, I'm thinking 2 years, 15 million, Michael Drake, 7.5 a year. Use part of my MLE, or if I can't, just sign it. 2 years, 15, 7.5 a year. We got 8 million. I'll sign it for 2.5, 7, 2 years, 14, something like that. 2 years, 14. You mean? I'll give him 2 years, 14 million. I'm not sure, Ronnie. I'm not sure. I'm looking at Sporak. I don't know if we got both of them or not. I don't know. Let me see. Let me just see. Let me go back to the Knicks page and see. Because let me just take a look at the Knicks cap situation. What do we have? The Knicks have the taxpayer mid-level, 5 million. They got a trade exception for Jericho Sims that expires next year for 2 million. So they got a trade exception and they got a $5 million mid-level exception. If, and this is a big if Precious walks, you got enough to sign Jay Will. Put it that way, okay? If Precious walks, you got enough to sign Jay Will. Jay Will's a free agent. He's a restricted free agent this year. He's unrestricted in 26, the summer of 26. He's restricted in the summer of 25. So OKC has the right to match. Okay, they have the right to match. Okay. Yeah, I can't see it either. Udo, I can't see it either. But I like the thought Rich M says about Sam Hauser. I like the thought of that. Because you are right. The Celtics, put it this way, there's a lot of talk about the Celtics trading players this year. There's a lot of talk about that. Isn't it true that the Celtics are being sold, or there's a deal in place for them to be sold? Isn't that true? I think that's true, right? The Celtics are being sold. And right now, I want to see what their tax situation is. The Celtics are paying $53 million in luxury tax. So I gotta say, they're gonna move somebody. They're gonna move some players. I can understand if Jaylen Brown gets moved. I can totally understand if Jaylen Brown gets moved. They're gonna move some people, man. You want to get really crazy? I'm afraid to get crazy with y'all because some of y'all, if I go crazy, act like you just took acid and you start tripping off the reel. But what do y'all think? Mikal for JB. Mikal Bridges for Jaylen Brown. What you think? Mikal Bridges for Jaylen Brown. You'd have to include some more money with that. You'd say no, Donde? I think I'd say no too, but I would think about it. I would think about it. It would be something I'd have to think about. I'd have to think about that. I wouldn't just out of hand say no. I'd have to think about it. Okay. So I'm just saying because Boston's got to lose. They got to lose some money. They really do, because they $53 million tax bill is a hell of a lot of money. They ain't moving Jason Tatum. They just extended stupidly. They just extended Jrue Holiday. I just don't understand that. They just extended Jrue Holiday. So they're going to pay him for another 4 years, $30 million. KP, they got him locked in. Ooh, man, they're in trouble. Money-wise, they got freaking problems in Boston. They got freaking problems in Boston. They really do. So I don't know. That's $50 million that you got to eat for Jaylen Brown. That's a lot of freaking money. Yeah, Boston's going to be, they got a problem, man. Well, I don't know how they're going to trade. Let me ask you, who's going to want KP right now? You know what I'm saying? I mean, KP is locked in. His contract, Kristaps Porzingis' contract, he's 29 years old, and his contract is, he's got a 2-year, $60 million deal, and they got his bird rights. So he's locked in for the next 2 seasons. The third season, he becomes unrestricted. So he's not getting off your books for another year, 2 years. So I don't know. And he's injury prone. I think we can agree Kristaps Porzingis is injury prone. So I don't know. I'm wondering who would take them. If they didn't get him, they would not have a championship. I'm going to tell you that right up front. If they didn't get KP, they would not now have a championship. But I think it's, what do you call that? Diminishing returns right now. Diminishing returns. So they're going to pay $53 million in luxury tax in Boston. I don't think they like that. And so I don't know what they're going to do. But you know what we say, right, brethren? That's their problem, isn't it? So somebody mentioned Sam Hauser. That's how we got in this conversation. Somebody mentioned Sam Hauser. So let's take a look at Sam Hauser. Sam Hauser, what is his deal? Sam Hauser is 27 years old. He's on a vet min. He's on a vet min of $2 million. We could steal Sam Hauser. We could steal Sam. Sam Hauser signed a 4-year, $45 million deal. They just extended him. Oh, no, you're not getting Sam Hauser. He just got extended. 4 years, $45 million. Boston is in trouble. They are. I ain't going to front on them. The reason I mentioned Jaylen Brown from Mikal is they're very similar. They're not built similar, but I'm saying they're both bad 3-point shooters. good, really good defenders, both of those guys. And they both can come through in the clutch for you, both Brown and Mikal. So they're very similar, but Mikal costs half the price. So Mikal and Jaylen Brown have a lot of similarities in terms of effect on the court, but Mikal costs half the price. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. Mikal costs. Oh, I meant to give you this next poll. Hang on. Let me give you another poll. You ready? Here's going to be a poll. The poll right here. All right, here's your next question. Who comes back to the rotation next season? Both Wright and Shamet or Wright? So by picking one or the other, you know one of them is not going to be back. At least that's what you're saying. That's your statement. If you pick both, you think both will be back. If you pick one, that you think that the other one's not going to be back. So what do you think? Is it both Shamet and Wright? Is it Wright? Is it Shamet? I kind of think both of them will be back. They both are Tibbs type of players. And you guys do remember when Jalen Brunson was out at the end of the season, Wright handled the business very well, even without Deuce there. I think they'll both be back. And I think that's why you're going to have a 10-man rotation. Because let me ask y'all this question. Do you think Thibodeau trusts Shamet and Wright? Because in order to play in Tibbs' rotation, he's got to trust you. Do you think that Thibodeau trusts Landry Shamet? Does he trust DeLon Wright? I think he does. I think both of them, Tibbs trusts both of them. And I think they'll both be back. Okay? They both play really good defense. They both are solid shooters. Of course, Shamet's a better shooter. But yeah, I think they come back, and I think we're going to get a 10-man rotation. Now, the only question, which we've already talked about, Tyus Jones is out. He's not coming back. No. Again, Udo, you're speaking doo-doo. Udo, you talking doo-doo because he ain't shining no damn Tyus Jones. It ain't happening. So they're both coming back. You got both of them for the vet minimum. And the only question is, what's going to happen with Precious? And is there going to be a player to be in that spot? Okay. Yeah. Is there going to be a player to be in that spot? Yes, Ty Battle, I agree with you. I'm looking at 55 wins. No. Udo speaking doo-doo. I think 55 is realistic next year. I think 55 wins is realistic. I like that number. Now, what we're going to be doing. Oh, yes, one of these guys. Okay, Udo. I will remember because it's hard to forget your name. Your name is unique. Udo, that speaks doo-doo, say, remember, he said Tyus Jones is the boo-boo. Okay. Giannis wants to go to a big city. He would love to be on the Knicks, but the Knicks ain't breaking up their team for him. I can see Giannis going to a big city like either Boston, Philly, Miami, or the Lakers. How they afford him, that's another question. But he's going to go. I can see, or let me add another team to that. I see Miami, Boston, Philly, the Lakers, and I also see Dallas. Hey, Lonnie, what's up, brother? Tough loss, but it is what it is, right? Dallas, that's right. Coach House, I agree with you. So we're talking about Dallas, the Lakers, the Heat, the Celtics, or the 76ers. I can see that coming. Yeah. And so that's a possibility. Yeah, exactly. Udo speaking doo-doo about Tyus being the next boo-boo. No, I'm not saying Antonio. But let me ask you, Jabroni Z. if Milwaukee was thinking about trading Giannis to San Antonio and you're Milwaukee, what are you asking for? If you're Milwaukee and you're thinking about trading him to San Antonio, what are you asking for? What are you asking for? What do you think Milwaukee would want if they were going to be trading him to the Spurs? You think they're going to get 2 second-round picks? I don't think so. Of course. You're talking about Victor Wembanyama. And San Antonio's going to say, take a walk. And that's the end of the conversation. That's the end of the conversation. Yeah. I can see. I'm having a hard time. I am surprised that Golden State was able to pull off Jimmy Butler. I am really surprised they were able. I was shocked they were able to do that. Golden State is paying. I mean, let me just look at that. I'm going to tell you right now. That owner is paying. I want to say his luxury tax got to be close to $100 million. Wait, his tax got to be close to $100 million. Yeah. Let me see. Let's see. Actually, damn, I'm surprised. They're only paying $15 million in luxury tax. That surprises me. And you know why? They're paying Stephen Curry $56 million. They're paying Jimmy Butler $49 million. And then it drops off. Draymond Green, $24 million. And then they got nobody else over $10 million. Everybody else is under 10. I think they're getting ready to re-up Kuminga, though, for a 9-figure deal. I think they're going to re-up Kuminga on a 9-figure deal. I think he's going to sign something like $150 million extension. I think they're going to get that. But yeah, looking at this, they ain't paying nobody. They just got rid of all their contracts. That's why they got, okay. So they got, now Buddy Held is getting $9 million. I don't know. They got him locked in for $9 million for a second. I don't know. But they're only paying $15 million in luxury tax. So they really did clean up their balance sheet. Really. Golden State. So who said Golden State? That's got to be a possibility. Got to be a possibility. Okay. That's got to be a possibility. Golden State, because they now have money. I'm surprised. They have money though. They do have money. I'm looking at them and they do have money. They got, what's their second apron money? They don't have hardly no money. I mean, I don't know. Let me see. I don't know how they do it. I don't know. But they got some money to work with, so I don't know. Okay, now let's talk about the draft. Okay, let's talk about the draft. You ready to switch? Everybody says Shamet and Wright. I agree with you. Shamet and Wright will be back. I agree. Okay, look. Let's talk about the draft. So one thing that we have to differentiate is what we want to happen versus the history of what the Don does. Okay? Everybody got me so far? You have to differentiate your pipe dreams versus with your reality of how the Don plays chess. Okay? So, will the Don make a first-round choice this year? Or will he trade down into the second round? Will the Don make a first-round pick this year, or will he trade down into the second round? What do y'all think? I think he trades down into the second round. Oh, well, then that ends that. That's right, Udu. Udu is right. He wasn't speaking doo-doo there. He's right. Udu is right. He don't have a first-round pick. There you go. So I think he trades. What do we have? Let's see what the hell they do got this year. Let's see what they do got this year. Let's take a look. So right now, this year, the Knicks don't have a first-round pick. That's right. They don't have a first-round pick. They have a top 8 protected pick for Washington, which they lost already. So that ain't happening. That's 2027. So 2026, yeah, they don't have a first-round pick. They got their 2026 first round. Second-round picks. They got a lot of second-round picks in 2026. I don't see no second-round picks in 2027. So what is going to happen then? You know, and I know what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of undrafted free agents playing summer league. Y'all understand that? He's going to get some undrafted free agents. He might buy a second-round pick if there's somebody they're interested in. He might buy a second-round pick. But they'll be having a lot of undrafted free agents in Knicks camp for the summer league. I can guarantee that. So this summer, I'm very excited to see our guys this summer. Ariel Hukporti, Tyler Kolek, Bacone Daddier, McCullough, and of course, Marshawn Beauchamp. I'm very excited to see our guys this summer. And we're going to see them around what? The 4th of July. That week is when Summer League starts. Do we have the 50th pick, Coach House, for this? Do we? Let me see here. Do we have that? They're not showing that on Spot Rack. They behind you. They're behind you, man. They missing out. They're not catching this right. We got the 50th pick. Okay, all right. Well, then that's what it is. Then, okay. They'll probably pick somebody that we never heard of. Yeah. So that's where we're at. So I'm looking forward to our boys playing, though. The 5 guys that we got on the roster now: Beauchamp, McCullough, Daddier, Kolek, and Hukporti. Hukporti will, unless he gets hurt, he's going to be in the rotation in the fall. Beauchamp also, possibly. I don't know why I think people are sleeping on Marshawn Beauchamp. I think he's much better, and I think he should show that in the summer league. Beauchamp is a full 6'7". He plays NBA level defense. He does not shoot the ball in NBA level yet, but he plays NBA level defense, and he's got an NBA level motor. That's what he has. Okay. So he's got an NBA level motor. He plays NBA level defense, and he's 6'7". So he's a wing. So he can guard. I think under Thibodeau, you're going to see Beauchamp with the ability to guard 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, which would get him in the rotation. Yeah, that would get him in the rotation. Yeah. I think Grimes is going to be re-signed in Philly. If you were Philly, would you let Grimes go? I wouldn't. I wouldn't let Grimes go if I was Philadelphia. A young boy like that, that could shoot like that. Didn't he drop 50 this year, or did he drop 40? I think, right? I think Grimes dropped the 40 piece. I know he dropped the 40 piece this year. I wonder, did he drop a 50 piece? I think he dropped a 40 piece this year. He dropped the 40 piece. No, he dropped both, did he? Okay. I knew he dropped the 40 piece. And he dropped the several 35 pieces in that, So I'm not letting, and he plays defense high level. If I am Philly, I am not letting him go. I'm going to try to sign him cheap, though. Probably 4 years, 40. I'm going to try to sign him 4 years, 40, 4 years, 48 if I can get him. But I like Yabusele, Prezi. Vetman, somewhere around $3 million. I like him. Yeah, that's the thing, Felicia Lee. They do have a bit of a problem with money in Philly. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, I like Q-Dog. Y'all know I was Q-Dog fan when he was at Houston under Calvin Sampson. I like Q-Dog. Always liked him, still like him. And I still think he's got upside. So I like Q-Dog. So I think Philly hangs on to him. And not only that, y'all saw a couple of games, right? I saw a couple of Philly games. Him and Maxey play very well together. I think. What y'all think? I think him and Maxey, they play very well together. So you bring back Maxey at healthy, and you bring back Q-Dog, and you could get MB for 50 games. Yeah, Yabusele. What I like about Yabusele is he's a Thibodeau type vet that's going to be a vet min contract, so we could get him cheap. I like that. Yeah, and Philly does have Jared McClain. That's right. There's another guy, so they got a nice young core. I think they keep McClain's on the rookie deal, so they're not worried about him. I think they keep Q-Dog. They got McClain. They got Maxey locked in, so he ain't going nowhere. So I think that's their core, a backcourt core going forward. I think Philly should have. I think y'all remember I was telling them to trade both Embiid and Paul George even before the trade deadline. I didn't. I just that was a bad move. That was a bad move. Everybody was hyping Philly last summer because again it was clickbait season. But I never liked Philly. I never liked them. They should have got rid of both of them as soon as possible. I don't know what they were waiting for, but yeah, they messed up. I would have traded both. I wouldn't even have signed Paul George, and then I would have traded Embiid for whatever number ones I can get some sucker to give me. That's what I would have did last summer. Yeah, right. So last year, you remember Kevin Kavan? They was Philly's gonna be top 3 in the East. You Nick got worried about Philly. I was like, what? You're crazy? Yeah, they should. Alonzo Trier was a ball hog that couldn't play adequate defense, which is why he's not in the NBA right now. He unfortunately was trying to be Kobe, and there's only one Kobe. And yeah. Alonzo Trier is out the league, and there's a good reason for that. If he was able to play NBA basketball, he'd be in the league. He's in Turkey, enjoying himself. Okay. Well, Coach Hauser, this is going to be, what did we see like this playoff? So you see the starters are going to still be the starters. Mitchell Robinson, Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Jalen Brunson. That's your starting 5. Deuce McBride, then you're going to have, then we don't know. I'm thinking it's going to be Deuce and Shamet and Wright. But we'll find out. And of course, there's Josh Hart. So you got Josh Hart and Deuce, but then Shamet and Wright. So that's what you got. Mitch Rob is going to start at the 5 next year. And that's why Ariel Hukporti will be in the rotation, because Mitch Rob is not playing 30 minutes a game. Ariel Hukporti is going to get 15. I think Karl Anthony Towns plays about 10 minutes a game at the 5 next year. He starts at the 4, but he's going to play about 10 minutes a game at the 5. When you have Josh Hart in the game with Deuce, Shamet, and Wright, you'll have Karl Anthony Towns in there at the 5. Yeah, Mitch is a lock. Mitch is going to be back. There's no doubt. You're going to hear in July, they're going to extend this guy. They got him locked in for another season, but they're going to extend this guy. There's no doubt about it. You see the impact he made? They said he got more offensive rebounds than anybody in the playoffs this year. He had more offensive boards than anybody else in the NBA playoffs this year. If the Knicks wasn't turning the freaking ball over, if Hart and Mikal and Bridges was not throwing the ball all over the freaking place, we might have won a couple more games, No, Udo, the doo-doo is starting to smell, Udo. The doo-doo is starting to smell, Udo. The doo-doo is starting to smell, Udo. Udo, you are now standing on the yellow line at the number 3 train at 96th Street in Broadway on the express side. You're standing at the yellow line and you're leaning over a bit too far. You're leaning over so far that onlookers are thinking, is he going to jump in? Will he back up from the yellow line? Is he going to jump in and hug the 3rd rail? And you've got people watching. And someone's saying, brother, step back. Step back. Step back. And you know why? Put it this way. If you were Don Corleone and you knew for certainty that your son Michael, coming back from Italy, might have his car bombed, and you found out that it was Brazzini all along, how would you react to that? Because when you're talking about Mitchell Robinson, you're talking about the Don's son. did you actually frame the words Mitchell Robinson might be traded? Did you actually frame those words? I tell you what I'm going to do, and I got witnesses here. I got witnesses. Kavan, Jay, John Pettit, Guilford, you're my witnesses. I'm going to give you a pass this time. I'm going to assume you had a little too much to drink, and I'm going to give you a pass. And I'm going to say, I'm going to leave you alone. And I'm going to assume maybe you had some MD 2020, or maybe a little bit too much 800. And I'm going to leave you alone. So nobody can say I'm just jumping up. Because I gave him grace. Didn't I? I gave grace. Gorilla, did I give him grace? Gorilla. For the Knicks, with the Knicks. For the Knicks, with the Knicks. So, Mitchell Robinson has more offensive rebounds than any player in the playoffs this year. So you think you want to keep that guy around? He's 26. You think you want to keep him around? Huh? I think the 800. Joshua, I think he might have messed with that 800. Do they still sell 800? I'm not a beer drinker anymore. I don't really like beer. So, yeah. He said Udu is cuckoo. He said he cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Y'all are so crazy. People out here in Knicks Nation, man. Y'all sick. Oh, God. I did say I would like him off the bench. I still would. I wouldn't mind Mitch Rob coming off the bench. But did not we hear Thibodeau say he's the starting center? Did y'all hear that? I think it was mid-season. He said, we're missing our starting center. Did you guys hear that? Or was it just me? I think I heard Thibodeau say that. I think I heard him say that. He said, Mitch is our starting center. So, and as soon as Mitch Rob got his health completely back, he starts. He started. So, and look, I mean, like I said, let me ask y'all a question. If the Knicks only had 7 turnovers instead of 17, could we have won that game yesterday? Everything else being the same. Missed free throws and all the other crap. If the Knicks would have only had 7 turnovers instead of 17 turnovers, could we have won that game yesterday? Yes. So you have Mitchell Robinson. Did y'all see what I saw? They was frustrated. They couldn't do nothing with him. They couldn't do nothing with him. Okay. So and that's on Brunson. That turnover thing is on Brunson. It's on Brunson. So I'm sorry, but he's got to be better. And he knows it. That's the thing I love about Jalen Brunson. It ain't like he don't know that. Okay, it ain't like he don't know that. Yeah, I was going to say, Coach House, I didn't think he was out of bounds either. I think he might have stepped out and then stepped back in, and Tony Brothers called him out of bounds. That's what I think happened. But I don't think he was out either. I agree with you, Coach House. You saw what I saw. When I saw the replay, I said, where was he out of bounds at? I didn't see it. Yeah. So, yeah, Jay Sniper, Tony Brothers will try your patience. But I've seen worse. I kind of thought yesterday Brothers and that other, I can't stand Tyler Ford, though. My God. But I got to say, I think they called a pretty fair game yesterday. I got to say. Okay. So, with respect to Mitch Rob, yeah, I would love him coming off the bench. Really. I would love him coming off the bench. Honestly, if I had my starting 5, and again, I like to repeat what I know Tibbs is going to do, not what I want, because what I want don't mean nothing. That's what I keep telling y'all the same thing. What we want don't mean crap. Tibbs don't coach by fan proxy. He don't give a crap what we think. He don't give a crap what we say. He don't care. I would start Deuce, though. I would start Deuce over Mikal Bridges. If it was me, I'm just saying. I would. If Deuce was guarding, if Deuce was guarding all game, if Deuce was guarding Holly, he wouldn't have got them damn floaters up like that. Oh, hell no. Mm-mm. And you know what I like about Deuce now? Deuce is now getting the balls, excuse me, he's getting the testicular fortitude to speak up and tell some of them vets to get on their game defensively. I've seen them do it. So I think, thank you, son from Brooklyn, for the 20. Thank you for your smart analysis this season, Raw. Fred Castellan said the only locker room issues with this team this season were basketball ones, now personal drama. Hey, even though, thanks for the dub, son from Brooklyn. Thanks for the dub, man. Look, even though I do think Fred Katz is full of ooh-doos, doo-doo, I don't think there's no issue among the Knicks personally anyway. I think the only issue might have been, this is the thing, Tibbs does not like players to come out publicly and say anything negative that should be kept in-house. He really holds grudges with that kind of stuff. He doesn't like that. Even from Chicago all the way to now, he does not like that. So when Mikal mentioned too many minutes, I don't know. But I don't know. Yeah, but Mikal knew he had the panache to say that because they're gonna sign him. Okay, they're gonna sign him. But they're gonna sign him. But yeah, outlaw comedian. But the thing is, we have to understand, referees are going to blow calls every game. Every game. That's going to happen every game. We should understand that. They're going to be blown calls every game on both sides. That's going to happen. And so you take that into consideration when you're watching the game. So let's look at the free throw discrepancy yesterday. Let's see, 26 for the Knicks, 19 for Indiana. See? So that game was fairly called yesterday. That game was fairly called. Okay? So it was what it was. It was what it was. So, well, no, Buddha. I mean, I hear what you're saying. You're saying it was hard to come back from 2-0 down in your own building. I get that. But listen, man, they hit their ceiling this year. That's all I'm going to say. The Knicks hit their ceiling. The ceiling was the ECF this year. That was the ceiling. And you know what? I was one of the few people saying that. Most people, tell me the truth now, were not most content creators doubtful that they could make the ECF this year? Tell me the truth. Is that the truth or not? Most of the content creators out there, whether they be on big stages or on little ones like mine, nobody was talking ECF except me. Nobody was. Am I correct on that? I was saying ECF from October. Okay? I told y'all. I said, and this was before the Cat trade. I said they bring back the same team with Juju that's 50 wins. And I said they're going to get the ECF. That was with Juju. When they got Cat, I knew that was ECF territory right there. But this is their first year playing together. And some of y'all brought up the same point. Like, in other words, how long has Donovan Mitchell been playing with Darius Garland, right? And the center there. And how long they been playing together, right? Those guys were playing together for 3 years already. And they still lost in the first or the second round. Okay. How long has Tatum and Brown and Al Horford and Wright, how long they been playing together? 3 or 4 years. Right? So I knew that this year was going to, if they got past the ECF, it was gravy. I was thinking that was gravy. The team talent-wise was good enough to get to the ECF. Now, next year, I think we can go a little further next year. Matter of fact, I think the Knicks get to the chip next year. Barring any major injuries, I think we get to the chip next year. Especially if Tibbs plays the 10-man rotation. He keeps Shamet, he keeps Wright, and he keeps them in the rotation with Deuce and Hart. I think we get to the finals next year. I'm telling you, I think we get to the finals next year. Now, depending on who we play, we know whether we win in our health at that time. But I think we get to the finals next year. See, so I'm with that. Yeah. Can somebody help this man out? You know, I don't even have to say his name. Can somebody help him? I see a guy leaning over the ledge again, and they're really trying their best to commit suicide. And we don't want that. We don't want to see that. Erie, could you help him? Somebody help. Mark, help him out. Help him out. Help him out. Yeah, and that's the thing, Guilford McCormick. One thing that there's a couple of things that a lot of people that watch the Knicks don't take seriously. One of them is continuity. When you're talking about Boston, who won a chip last year, one of the reasons they were so good was their continuity. How long have these Pacers been together? When did the Pacers trade for when did they get Tyrese Halliburton? Was it 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago, right? I think they've had Tyrese for 2 years, or is it 3 years? Let me see here. Let me take a look here. Halliburton. Halliburton is, Halliburton's a young cat. That dude, wait, I'm talking about Halliburton, how old is he, man? Halliburton was born in 2000, so he's 25 right now. He's not even in his prime. So they got Halliburton. When did they get him? They got him in 2021-22 from Sacramento. So he's been with Indiana 3.5 years. 3.5 years. Halliburton has played with Miles, it's Raining Men Turner, and Pascal Siakam for 3.5 years. Okay. I don't like him either, but I mean, my point here is they have more continuity than we have. So this is Brunson's third year with the Knicks with Hart. This is his first year with Cat and Mikal Bridges. This is his 1.5 years with OG. Am I correct on those things? Y'all got me? So OG has been with the Knicks 1.5 years. This is Cat's first year. This is Mikal's first year. And this is the first year that Cat, Mikal, and OG and JB played together. Hart's been here the whole time, right? But this is the first year, right? So, all right. So somebody asked me the other day, why do we say it's Raining Men Turner? I say this. There was a segment on it in Living Color. Tell me if y'all remember the show from the 90s in Living Color. Do y'all remember in Living Color from the 90s, the show? That's where some people got discovered on In Living Color. Okay. Do you remember the segment on Men on Film? It was and one called himself Antoine Merriweather, and the other one was, you remember that? It was Men on Film. It was you remember that? It was now, if you go, you can look it up on YouTube. Go Living Color Men on Film and look at how they're dressed. And last summer in an Indiana game summer league, Miles Turner was dressed just like Antoine Merriweather. He would tell me, y'all remember that? David Allen Greer and Damon Williams. And Damon Williams used to wear this little napkin wrapped around their neck. You remember that? And they'd say Men on Film. That's and how they'd sit in the chair in a feminine way. That's exactly how Miles Turner was dressed last summer. And he even had his hair in like a weird, it was weird. Y'all remember that? And he had the thing around his neck and it was purple. And he had his legs crossed like a woman. I don't even know how a dude does that. I can't cross my legs like without crushing the family jewels. I don't know how they do that. Some dudes can sit like that. I can't. So I saw him sitting like that. And he was sitting there with that. And somebody, I didn't make it up. Somebody in the room said, it's Raining Men. I said, oh, that's gone. That's gone. I said, that's gone, man. It's Raining Men. So that's it. That was Coach Hauser? Yes. Yeah. So y'all remember, it was summer league. He was sitting there with his legs crossed. He had these like loafers on with no socks on. And he had the thing wrapped around his neck in a nice neat bow and had his hair up and it was purple. And I was like, damn, I didn't know Miles Turner rolled like that. And then Coach Hauser said, it's Raining Men. I said, man, that's gone. I'm stealing that, bro. That's gone. That's gone. And I think I've been true to my word. Ever since then, he has been, Miles, it's Raining Men Turner. Yeah, Miles is Raining Men Turner ever since. You go ahead. You want to see where we got it from? Go look on Men on Film, Living Color, Antoine Merriweather, and the other guy, I forgot what their name was. Look at them, and you'll know where we get it from. Look at that. You see exactly where we get it from. Oh, God. I was like, what was he? And before that, the guy that would get those highlights was was Dwight, don't drop the soap Howard. Dwight, don't drop the soap Howard. You remember some people were saying, let's look into Dwight Howard. I mean, Dwight, don't drop the soap. No, we don't want that. We don't need that problem. Don't drop the soap. Oh gosh, man. Right? Don't drop the soap, right? Don't drop the soap, right? That's what it was. Don't drop the soap, right? Yep. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You remember that? You come on. And I was like, so then Miles Turner took the show though. When he came out, he showed out in Las Vegas last summer. I was like, oh my God, it's raining men. Dwight, don't drop the soap, Howard. And now you got Miles, it's raining men Turner. Yeah, men on film. That's right. Miles, men on film. That's exactly right. Miles, men on film. So that he should have never did that in front of us. Not with dudes from New York. You cannot do that. Then you're gonna have a nickname for the rest of your life. That's how dudes in New York get nicknames. That's how you get nicknames that stick with you from little, to whatever. Smoke, we had dude we called Lip. We had dude we called Smoke. You get nicknames behind stuff like that. And he got one. He ain't losing it. That's it. That's his name. Oh gosh. Anyway, yeah. So I think next year the Knicks finals are the ceiling. The Knicks are finals guys. Yes, that's it. They should do a segment with Dwight Howard and Miles Turner, men on film. Oh my God. That would be funny as hell. Oh, I would watch that. I would definitely watch that. Oh, you're going to have me with that one. You put Miles Turner and Dwight Howard in two little studio chairs and men on film. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's go. Oh gosh. So anywho, I'm looking forward to Summer League. The draft really don't matter to us except who's going to be signed as an undrafted free agent, right? The draft don't matter to us. Forget the first round. They're not getting the first round pick. That's over. So you're going to see a whole bunch of undrafted free agents in the Summer League with our 5 kids, Ariel, Tyler, Pacome, Kevin, and Marjan. I'm looking forward to seeing the Summer League. I'm hoping they extend Mitch Rob and Mikal in July. Okay. Yeah, that's what I heard, KNYT. So that guy will be picked 50, whoever, and whatever. We got 55 last year. They got good pick 55 last year. Ariel Hukporti was even a step up from Jericho, and I liked Jericho. Yeah. I did want him, right, y'all? I mean, I did, right? I did want him, right? I think I was patient, wasn't it? Somebody got in the gym and said, "You used to be so humble. You're not humble anymore." I got rid of that fool too. Got rid of one headache, just got rid of another one. I was patient though. Y'all gotta admit, I told y'all to help the boy out, and we was patient, and we was waiting. We was trying to hold off everything. We was giving him all kind of problems, but he's still talking that trade Mitch garbage. So, yeah. So anyway, we're not even dealing with trading Mitch. Y'all got to be out your goddamn mind, man. Please, Mitch Rob, hell no. Was y'all watching the playoffs? He was frustrating. It's raining men to no end. They didn't know what to do with that boy. He was taking all boards, man. He was taking all boards, man. He was. So, yeah. Yeah, I was trying my best. You see, I'm an old head. Old heads got less patience for the BS than young heads. Young heads will get caught up in the BS. I ain't got the energy to be caught up in it. Like, I ain't gonna argue with you talking about trading Mitch Rob. I ain't gonna be arguing with you. I ain't gonna do it. Ain't no need for what. Okay? No, we're not going to do that. Got no time for that. I got more years behind me than I got left in front of me. What am I going to be arguing with you about trading one of the main guys for? What the hell? Get out of here. Ain't got time for that gossip. No. My grandmother used to say, not at all, at all, at all, at all. No, not at all, at all, at all. No. Don't got that. Do boo boo. Ooh, do you boo boo. My man Stephen Curry. Ooh, do you boo boo, ooh, do. With that do. Yeah. So AP. I don't know if you realize this. I say congratulations to the New York Liberty, but I don't watch the New York Liberty. I don't give two doo-doos about the New York Liberty. It's just me. I don't find the women's game enough to keep my attention. I'm just saying. Now, if you get some sisters out there and they running track, they can have my attention. Or you get some of these sisters like get on that diving platform, they got my attention. Or you get somebody with some skates and a little tiny dress on, got my attention. Or you get some of these little sisters doing that gymnastic stuff like Suni Lee, got my attention and got OG Anunoby's attention. But I don't know. There's something about women playing ball. I'm not saying they can't play ball and they don't know nothing about ball. I'm just saying, me personally, I'm not going to say, oh, a Liberty game is on, let me go watch. It's just not that important to me. I'm just saying. More power to them. And what really does annoy me about the women's game, though, is why do they expect they should be paid like men? They don't generate even a tenth of the income that the men generate. So why would they be paid like men? And look, I'm just going to pick on one of y'all. Let me pick Son from Brooklyn, my man. Son, let's say Son from Brooklyn. I asked you, get in the best shape of your life, hire a personal trainer. All right. I'm going to put you on every other Allstate commercial. Or what is it? State Farm. I'll put you on every other State Farm commercial. I'm going to have you on State Farm commercials with every NBA star. I'm going to have you on State Farm commercials. Would you do that? And let me ask you, if I put you on every other State Farm commercial and you just got in the best shape of your life, your hair was tight, body was tight, and you was on the commercial, and you walk down New York, would people know who you are? Yeah, they would know who you are, right? They would know, hey, that's Son from the State Farm commercial. That's him. They would know who you was, right? So they take the women. They got them in the State Farm commercials. They got them in the Gemini commercials. They got them, and they always put them in commercial with very high level boys, dudes, NBA players, right? And the league still doesn't generate enough income to pay them anything more than maybe the highest level players gets like $250,000. So why would they be whining about not getting? And you know what else I don't like? Why is Angel Reese trying to beat up the white girl that's trying to save your league? The white girl trying to save the league. She trying to save the league, right? That's why they got her there. They trying to use her to help y'all make money. And Angel Reese want to beat the girl up. That's the cattiness that I don't like, that you're going to get from a female game. Cattiness, man. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of catty. Bird and Magic never fought, though. They never fought. They understood that Converse was making money on both of them. Now, Bird and Doc fought. They fought. But that was different. Doc was at the end of his career, and Bird was just talking a lot of mess. Yeah, so I'm just saying they trying to do their best. That is, the powers that be in corporate America are trying their best to hype up the women's league. But they have been doing that for 30 years now. I mean, literally 30 years now. Okay, 25 years now. They've been doing it for 25 years. It's just not an attractive game. I'm sorry. It's just not. And they trying their best to hoop it up, but it ain't working because you can't get me. I'm not interested in it. I'm just not. And I ain't fronting like I said, you put Suni Lee out there in some tights, I'm watching her. If she's out there in gymnastics in tights, I'm watching that little girl. I'm watching her. Okay. You give me one of them well put together Jamaican women running in a 200, I am watching. Okay. I'm just going to be watching. But I can't get into girls with high tops and shorts, someone with tattoos on, trying to be like men. It don't work for me. It just don't work for me. I'm just saying. So I hope the Liberty are very successful. I hope they win a WNBA championship. Okay. Okay. I hope they do. AP, listen, they won the championship for me. Something I'll probably never see with the Knicks. That's kind of third rail territory. What y'all think? That's kind of third rail territory, don't you think? He said he'll never see a championship with the Knicks, born in the 70s. I think what you just did is disrespect every man that was born in the 70s. I think you just did that. You disrespected anybody born in the 70s because you're representing all 70s kids. I know what I'm going to do, though. Don Day, Miss Stevenson, because Miss Stevenson's here. I'm going to give you a pass. I'm going to give you a pass. AP, go ahead, do your thing. Do you, boo? WNBA too. Do you, boo? I just can't do that, though. Just can't do that. I just can't get into it. Yeah. 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 Right. So, yeah, that's all I'm saying. I wish them the best. I'm not wishing the WNBA curses. I didn't say curses on the WNBA. I hope they win another championship. I hope they do good. Who's their star player anyway? Is it some man-looking woman? I don't know. Who's their star player? Is it some manly woman? I don't know. Who is their star player? I don't even know. I don't know. I have no idea. I'll just say. Oh, next year in the East? Yeah, the Liberty. Who's their star player? What's their star player's name? Sabrina who? Oh, that's the girl they pushing in them Allstate commercials, right? Sabrina, whatever. The Romanian girl, right? Right? Am I lying? That's the dude. That's the girl, right? That's the girl that's in the Allstate commercials. The Romanian girl, Onescu, right? Onescu. That's their star player, right? Right? I was saying. Oh, okay. That's the manly one. Brianna Stewart. That's the manly one. Yes. Yeah. Okay. I got it. No problem. So I hope they do good. I hope they do real good. Blessings to them. Blessings to them. Yeah, JL, right angles, right light, right makeup, little blinders. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I remember when I was in high school, man, we had a girls team when I was in high school, and they always could shoot. They could always shoot. The girls, they used to play with a smaller basketball back then, and they could all shoot, man. I remember that. They could all shoot. Yeah, Felicia Lee, I hear you. I'm sorry. Like, there's got to be, is there a lacrosse team out of New York? I don't know who they are. Do they have a lacrosse team in New York? Do they have a soccer team in New York? They might, but I ain't following them, right? It's just not my game. That's all I'm saying. And women boxing, I don't even like to see two men get hit in the head that much. But two women, oh my God, no. I will not watch that. I will not watch that on principle. I will not watch women's MMA or women's boxing on principle because I don't believe that women should be getting hit in the face. I just don't believe in it. My mother raised me never to hit a woman. I once let a woman in a karate match kick me in the face because I couldn't hit her because I promised my mama I wasn't going to hit her. And I didn't. It was in Brooklyn. Never forget that. But you know what I mean? So I'm not going to hit no girl. And I can't stand to see two girls hit each other in the face. I'm just not going to. Yeah. So I'm not into that. And basketball the women's basketball game is not aesthetically pleasing to me. That's just me. I got to be aesthetically turned on. That's the best way I can say it. You gotta have something that aesthetically pleases my sight that causes me to say, I want to see it. Like I said, Suni Lee, when she do them gymnastic moves, she's poetry in motion and she's pretty. And that helps. When I see women put them little tight stuff on and going up in a diving from the platform, that is beautiful to watch. Very beautiful to watch. When I see a woman running a 400 meters with strides that look like a gazelle, I love that. I can watch that. See, I watch that kind of stuff. You could get me. But basketball is different. I can't get into it. It's all right, but their crossover is not like a man's crossover. They force you see the way Karl Anthony Towns goes to the basket. Do you see the force? He looks like a damn train, right? I don't get that with a woman doing it. It just doesn't have the same effect to me. It just doesn't. Yeah. I mean, right. I mean, I'm not saying they don't have skills to play the game. That would be, obvious, right? Women have skills to play basketball. They definitely have shown that. I think they approved that. But also at the same time, we can say they don't make as much money as men for several reasons. Number one is they don't have the physical body to play 82 games. That is why their season is shorter. They don't have the physical makeup. It's just nature. They don't have the makeup to play 82 games. If a woman could play 82 games, they would play because that's more money, but they can't do it. So it's not in their physical makeup. They don't have testosterone. That's missing. Okay. It's natural. And I'm not blaming them. It just is what it is. I don't think anything's wrong with that. It just is what it is. See? So, yeah. Brittany Griner, I can't even look at her. Honestly, I can't. No, I can't. I can't even look at that. Sorry. Just not me. Just not me. Yeah. Yeah. Malik, I'm with you on that. The other day, Monica wore this outfit with this dress and these pumps. It was before Game 5 in Madison Square Garden. They showed her. The Knucklehead crew from TNT was out there, but in the background, Monica was there. Damn. Damn. What a nice looking woman, man. Daggone. And I was blessed. I got to meet her in person. Took a picture with her. I said, Miss McNutt, I got to get your picture. She said, sure. She's so nice. She's real nice. She's real nice. Real nice, man. Sweet person. Really good. I'm so happy for her success. She did good. There used to be another woman, a sister that was on there that's now in the New Orleans Pelicans organization. Yeah, she used to play for UConn. Y'all remember the sister I'm talking about? There was another sister that was on MSG like Monica is, and she was really good too. She knew her basketball so well. In fact, the Pelicans hired her. She's in the Pelicans front office. She's an executive with the Pelicans now. And yeah, Swing Cash, right. Swing Cash was on point too now. I like Swing Cash. She was like Monica before Monica came there. Swing Cash. Yeah. You pay. Yeah, right. Exactly, Felicia Lee. Whatever your profits are, that's what you should be paid. The reason the NBA players are getting the money they get is because the marketing profits that the league collects because of the players. That's why the league spends so much time making players stars. And I mean that. I mean marketing players as stars. They call it a star-driven league because it makes more money. Okay, you can sell more jerseys, more sneakers, more tickets, more beer. You can do all kind of stuff when you got everybody watching. People want to come see Jalen Brunson, and they'll pay a lot of money. Like what were the tickets to get into Madison Square? What were the cheapest tickets on Thursday to get into Madison Square Garden for Game 5? Was it $1,000? The cheapest ticket, right? The cheapest ticket. So you got people that are willing to fill a stadium paying a minimum $700. Okay, so paying a minimum $700 and going up definitely into the thousands to watch Jalen Brunson. Is anybody going to do that to watch in no school? Are they going to pay $700 a ticket to watch in no school? Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I mean, I understand. I really admire Felicia Lee, AP. I admire their support of the New York teams. I saved that for like the Jets. I'm not a Jets fan, but if the Jets were going to the playoffs or going to the Super Bowl, I'd be rooting for them. Or the Yankees. I'm not a Yankees fan, but if the Yankees were going to the World Series, I root for them, unless they play in the Mets. With the Mets, right? But that's how, that's how I would flow, because I got my favorite teams. But if they're from New York, I'm going to root for them, right? So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but there's certain games that are just not my thing. So, yeah, so that's all I'm saying. But next season, I think your top three in the East will be New York, Indiana, and Cleveland. That's what I think. Yeah, I'm glad TNT era is over too. Shaq threatening to come with the next two. But I think it's going to be New York, Cleveland, and Indiana, your top three in the East next year. I don't know what order they're going to be in, depending on injuries and all that. But I think those are your top three teams in the East next year, with Detroit coming up to push them. So I'm saying it's New York, Cleveland, and Indiana, with Detroit threatening to break into the top four next year. I can see Detroit breaking into the top four. Your surprise teams are going to be Orlando and Toronto next year. Your surprise teams, your two surprise teams, Orlando and Toronto. If Miami's able to make a big free agent signing, they'll be there too. But it depends on that. They got to make a big free agent signing. If they could get Giannis, Miami is definitely top four if they can get Giannis. But that's a big freaking if, right? It's a big if. But I think you're going to see Cleveland, New York, Indiana, Detroit, Orlando, and Toronto. I think that's your teams next year, assuming health, good health. Yeah. So assuming good health, that's what I'm looking at next year for the standings. The Knicks could very well be number one in the East next year. They could very well. No, not Boston. Boston without. You see, Jason Tatum is a top 5 basketball player on the earth. On the earth. Assuming the best players on earth are in the NBA, Jason Tatum is a top 5 on the earth, in my opinion. So without him, a guy like that is worth at least 10 or 15 wins to a team. Okay? A guy like Jason Tatum is worth 10 or 15 wins. There are nights where you might have lost unless you had Jason Tatum on your team. Okay? So without Jason Tatum, they'd be pressed to make the top 8 next year. I'm telling you, without Jason Tatum. And y'all already know Kristaps Porzingis is a part-time player. He's a part-time player. Okay? He's not even like a full-time NBA player. He's part-time. Okay, so they'll be hard-pressed to make the top 8 next year. I really think that. I don't think they're going to be. They're going to be good because of the continuity. But you're talking about Cleveland. They're going to be back, and they're going to be good. How good, I don't know, but they'll be back top 3. Knicks are going to be top 3, and Indiana's going to be top 3. So barring injuries. So God forbid, if Halliburton gets hurt, that changes everything. If Miles Turner gets hurt, that changes everything. If Donovan Mitchell gets hurt, that changes everything. Evan Mobley, any of those major guys get hurt, then that changes everything. Yeah, I have Raptors as a surprise team next year. Top 6. I think everybody is going to be surprised at how well IQ does a full season healthy at giving him the ball as a point guard. Him, RJ, they got a nice freaking team. I mean, they really do. They just was hurt this year. They really caught a bad break in terms of injuries this year, the Toronto Raptors. But you give them a full year. They got, let me see, you're talking about Brandon Ingram, Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes is 23. RJ is 24. IQ is 25. Ingram is 27. They still got nice supporting things. Grady Dick is 21. Okai Agbaji is 24. They really need a center. They got Podol, but he's inconsistent. I need a center if I'm them. I need a center. That's all I need. I need a good, you don't have to be a superstar. A solid center that can give me 72 games of service. That's what I need. Okay. That's all I need. If I got that with those guys, they're going to be top 6. They're going to be good. I like Toronto. Yeah. 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 Jarrett Allen is soft. And for some reason, Mitchell's teams do not win in the playoffs, but they're going to be a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference again next year. Okay. Well, Gorilla, it's got to be somebody really good. Like, I don't think they would get somebody that can help them get top 6 in as a rookie. They need a real solid guy. Don't be a superstar. Like, I'm going to tell you, if they were to get the guy from Charlotte, what's that guy's name everybody was talking about from Charlotte for the Knicks? What's that guy's name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. The guy at Kentucky. He played for Charlotte this year. What's that guy's name? What's that boy's name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. He played, what's his name? No, not Grant Williams. Grant Williams is not a center. The guy that played center. Richards. If they were to get Richards, that would help them a lot. If Toronto was to get Richards, that would help them a lot. Yeah, they'd be dangerous with a guy like that on their team. Raptors, yeah. I'm trying to find. Yeah, you're talking about he's cheap too. You can get him. Richards is, I think Richards is $5 million. I want to say he's not a lot of money. So if they could get him, that would be a real good find for them. What's his name? Yeah, where is he? Because Mark Williams is supposed to be their center. Did they trade him? I don't even see him on the roster right now. Did they trade Richards? Nick Richards, right. Oh, he went to Phoenix? That's why I don't see him. I was like, why don't I see him? Oh, he went to Phoenix for Yusuf Nurkic. They got rid of him. Okay, so he went to Phoenix. All right, so Richards should command some money this year. There he is, Nick Richards. He's 27 years old. He's on a $5 million deal. Toronto should be calling his agent. Toronto should be calling his agent. They should be calling his agent. Yeah. I don't trust Mark Williams' availability. He didn't even pass the physical in the trade this year. Y'all remember that, right? He didn't even pass the physical. No, he didn't even pass the physical this year. I was like, what the hell? He gets traded and he can't pass the physical? What the hell is that? You know what I mean? I mean, damn. Come on, man. Sure. So, free agents. Let me see free agent options at center this year. Let's see. Clint Capella. If I'm Toronto, I'm looking at Clint Capella. It's Raining Men is unrestricted this year. It's Raining Men. Miles Turner is unrestricted. Mo Wagner is a Cub option. He probably wants to stay in Orlando, though. Who else? Realistically, I don't think there's anybody else here. I don't think there's really much left. Jackson Hayes, maybe. Yeah. They need somebody solid, somebody in that high 20s, in their high 20s, that can give them a solid 72 games. Nick Richards is, to me, the guy I'd be looking at. I wouldn't look at Adams too hard because at this stage of his career, he's a backup. I wouldn't look at him as a starting 5 guy. If you're depending on him, you're going to have a problem because he's going to get hurt. He's injury prone. Yeah, Lakers looking for a center too. I don't know what they're going to do though. I don't know what they're going to do. But Nick Richards is going to get some money this summer. I can tell you that. Because if I'm Toronto, I'm looking at him. And like Miss Lee said, if I'm the Lakers, I'm looking at him. Yeah, that he going to get some money this year. He going to get some money. So I can see Nick Richards getting paid. Good for him. He going to get some money this year. So Toronto needs a center, though. Jacob Poeltl ain't that guy. Maybe they stick with him one more year because they're going to have everybody else healthy. Because you're going to have RJ, IQ, Scotty Barnes, and hopefully Brandon Ingram. You have all of them healthy. And so you got Poeltl with them. Maybe. I don't know. But if I'm Toronto, if I'm Masai Ujiri, I'm trying to get a 5. I'm trying to get a 5 guy. Not a rookie, a solid 5 guy. Yeah, I'm trying to get a solid 5 guy. Mo Wagner or Keith Richards. Or Nick Richards would be the guy that I would be looking at. Mo Wagner or Nick Richards. I'd be looking at them. Or Clint Capella. He's 31. Maybe I can get him cheaper. I'll be looking at him too. Yep. If I'm them guys. Toronto or LA. Those guys are going to be in demand. They're going to get some money this year. They're going to get some money. Yeah. Well, it's about time for me to go get my ribeye. It's time for the ribeye. So we're going to get the ribeye. What I'm going to be doing in this next week is I'm going to be highlighting our youngins and their position going into next season. I'm going to be highlighting our youngins and a couple of our pieces going into next season. I'm going to be talking more in depth about our 5 youngins and some of the guys like a Mitch Robb or a Deuce going into next season. Yeah. Because on this channel, you're not allowed to be negative about Tibbs Samuel Villanueva. If you talk negative about Tibbs on my channel, you're not Villanueva, you're a villain. So you can't do it. Nobody needs to talk about Tibbs. He's the coach, and he'll be the coach next year. Oh, you have trouble with that, huh? You don't like it, huh? Yo, what have you said? What the hell? Yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you. You're a bad man. Out to the hole with you. Yeah, so we'll be talking about that over the next few days. Free agency is July 1st, Jason. July 1st is free agency, always July 1st, midnight, July 1st. And so it'll be about the time our summer league began. Oh, no medium rare. Slightly well done, just so that we don't see the blood. No more blood, but still nice and soft. I pre-chop it. What do you call that? I blades. I do it tenderize, blade tenderizer. I got a blade tenderizer. Blade tenderize it nice, and then I, depending on how thick it is, probably 10 minutes on one side at 375, and then maybe 6 minutes on the other side at 375. Make sure both sides are brown, and then we go on. Yeah, we go on with that. I mean, he come jumping in this room like a fool, man. Like he a Crip coming into a blood movie. You know what I'm saying? He a Crip walking in a blood neighborhood and don't realize he's wearing, he's wearing blue and he's supposed to be wearing red. Bad news, isn't it? Bad news. See? So anyway, let me go get this ribeye on, man. Yo, we had a good year in New York. Don't worry, we had a good year. Don't worry, we had a good year. We really did. We hit where we're supposed to. We're going to be better next year. 10-man rotation, same squad, continuity. We're going to bring in Ariel and going to roll from there. Yeah, you too, Brother Lonnie. Brother Lion of Judah, y'all don't know. Lion of Judah is like, he's on my bodyguard detail. That Lion of Judah, don't mess with me with Lion of Judah around. Lion of Judah is like, Lion of Judah is part of the What did I say, Lonnie? Lion of Judah is he's kind of on the guard detail. He's Lion of Judah is on my guard detail, man. Yeah, that's my man. Yeah, so he was with us last weekend here in Florida. Me and Lonnie's like homies. That's my boy. That's my man right there. Lonnie, he knows it. That's my man right there. Lonnie's my man, no doubt about it. Lonnie is security. That's the name. That's what I was looking for. Lonnie is security. If you ever with me and Lonnie's around, you could catch the third rail real quick. My man, Lonnie, enjoy it, my brother, my Brooklyn man. Go on, do your thing, bro. All right, so we'll be back highlighting our youngins going into the summer league. Yup, the enforcer. That's right. Yo, what they call it? The regulator. The regulator. The regulator. Yeah. The regulator. For real. Shalom, y'all. Be safe out there, though. Be safe.